Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. So today is going to be a video all about fast fashion, how I have given up / reduced my intake of fast fashion and kind of just like changed the whole mindset. This video isn't me trying to tell you how to live your life or tell you to like wake up tomorrow and change your whole lifestyle. I'm just trying to, I don't know, share some facts and what I've learned through this process of trying to give up fast fashion basically. So I feel like I became aware of fast fashion about like a year ago, and then it took me like maybe like 6 months before I felt like I was not buying any fast fashion. There are still slip-ups here and there, and it's just it's difficult in some aspects, but we're gonna get into that. Yeah, so I essentially have given up fast fashion. I haven't bought anything since summer. I think maybe I bought one pair of socks or something, but I'm not sure. I can't remember, but like for the like 99% since summer I haven't bought any fast fashion. Okay, so to start with, I have some facts about fast fashion. So if you're sitting here like, what is fast fashion? Fast fashion is cheaply produced, poorly constructed clothing which copies the latest catwalk styles pumped quickly through stores to maximize current trends. So basically, like pretty much all high street retailers are fast fashion. So things like H&M, Topshop, New Look, Misguided, Boohoo, all of that. Companies that make cheap clothes, like budget clothes which are cheaper to buy but don't last as long. Yeah, generally things that are like more trendy rather than timeless. I don't know, like neon stuff maybe, but that will be out of trend soon, and then the clothes don't last forever, if that makes sense. So some other facts are 8 billion pieces of clothing are produced every year. Global production has doubled in the last year. 9 out of 10 workers interviewed in Bangladesh say they don't have enough food to feed their families. 97% of our clothes are produced overseas. Brands like Boohoo, Misguided, etc. are selling clothes for so cheap. They have to get their costs down, and to do that they're using cheap materials, they aren't paying their workers fair wages, aren't caring about the environment in their practices. All of that is what allows you to buy the clothing for so cheap. I don't know about you guys, but I see on YouTube all the time like, I spent £500 on a pretty little thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, like that's so much stuff. And PLT, Misguided, Boohoo especially are such like in-trend clothes rather than like timeless stuff that you're gonna wear for a long time. So I just think that that's like crazy. Yeah, so I'll link the website where I got those facts from down below if you're interested in like some more. So now I'm going to go into I have 6 steps for reducing fast fashion intake. And yeah, I also want to preface this with saying that like this comes from a place of privilege, which I'll talk about in a second more, but I know that giving up fast fashion is something that, you know, it comes with costs. And while I'm going to a lot of ways you can get clothes which are cheap, there are also really expensive options, and some things are really difficult, especially depending on your body type, etc. So I'm not trying to say like everyone do this, but just kind of, I don't know, maybe making you see where you're making decisions that you don't need to make. I think it's all about like the mindset. I think it's important to know what you're doing even if you aren't fully like fixing the problem yet. So first thing that I would say is you need to change your mindset. You do not need new clothes, new outfits for every single event. I just went to our university sports ball and I wore the exact same dress that I wore last year, because it doesn't matter. Like, you can wear the same dress to multiple events, you can style things differently, and I think just thinking like that you need a new outfit for everything, or like for example, like say you're going on holiday, you don't necessarily need a full new wardrobe for that. Like I would buy like a couple things maybe, and that's me. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I think just the idea that it's embarrassing to be seen in the same thing twice, or that you can't wear things more than once to events is just really silly, and something that you need to change in your mind before we get into this, or it's going to become very expensive to buy new clothes all the time if you're not buying from fast fashion brands. And kind of coming under this is like trends. Some trends are like how I was saying about like neon stuff, things like that. Think to yourself, do I like this because it's a trend, or do I like this like I genuinely just like it? If everybody else stops wearing this, am I still going to wear it? And if the answer is no, then maybe think twice about buying that thing. My next tip is for when you do buy new things, timeless, good quality clothing is essential. You need to be buying things gonna last a long time. For example, this jumper, I'm never not gonna like this because it's so simple, so plain. But buying from non-fast fashion companies doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be like a plain jumper. But I think just think about your style and what you tend to wear a lot, what you think you'll be able to wear for like years and years. You don't want to ever have to go off it. Like, I understand if things break or they don't fit, etc., but you shouldn't stop wearing something just because you don't really like it. And I definitely am guilty of this. I have loads of things in my wardrobe from years ago that I should wear, but I just don't, because I just don't really like them and I need to sell them. But now when I buy things, I try and think more about like, actually, do I want this for a long time? Think about buying a piece of clothing as like a commitment, because I think it is easy to, I don't know, buy something and then just wear it once. I think we've all probably done that maybe once or twice, but that's kind of feeding into the whole fast fashion culture. Now going on to talking about educating yourself on brands. So for example, something like Topshop, it's easy to tell that that's fast fashion because they have trendy clothes, it's on the high street, things aren't that cheap, but they're like cheaper than they should be, I guess. I'm gonna recommend the app Good On You. Basically, you type in a brand at the top on the search bar, and then they come up with sort of like their thoughts on the brand, and they've basically researched more into their sustainability and stuff like that. So for Topshop, their labour and environment are rated not good enough, and their animal is rated it's a start. So they'll also talk about like brands which are animal friendly. So for example, if a brand is using leather, that's obviously cruelty. So for example, for Topshop, they say very few of its facilities have worker empowerment initiatives such as collective bargaining or rights to make a complaint. So basically they've done a lot of research for you, and obviously like read it through, take it with a pinch of salt. But I think it's a good way to like learn more about what brands are good and what brands are not good. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is eco-washing. So because sustainability and like helping the environment and everything is quite, I guess, trendy at the moment, a lot of brands are capitalizing on this by bringing out like eco lines which are not eco. So Good On You actually talk a lot about this. They have like articles on different brands. I think I saw like a few months ago like Nasty Gal bring out a sustainable line of clothes, and I was just a bit like, how does this really work? I think I saw like Boohoo do a top for the Australian fires, and they were saying like profits go towards the fires, but the environmental disasters and the state of like our climate is a lot down to fast fashion. So I just don't really understand why. That's when you can see that they are doing that because they want to look good, they want to look like they care, and they want to look like are helping the planet, when really they are like one of the roots of the problem here. I think fast fashion is in like the top 3 biggest polluters, maybe it's top 5 or something, but it's really up there with like transport, fossil fuels, the meat industry, etc. So like definitely take that into consideration. Like it does have a big factor, and the fact that like it's so high up there, like for example 8 billion pieces of clothing bought every year, but if you think about it, like that's pretty much like all, not all, but like most of that is coming from like Western countries. So it's just like small proportion of the world using so much fabric and material and clothing, and then when you chuck out your clothes, they're just going to landfill, especially if you buy from a poor quality brand like Boohoo or something, and then a seam rips, etc., and you throw it out. That's just complete waste. It's almost like single-use plastic at this point, because it takes so much water, etc., to like make that item of clothing, and then you're literally wearing it. Even if you wear it for like 6 months, it's still not enough. And now I'm going to talk about where you can get some clothes. So the best option for buying clothes is definitely secondhand. Those clothes already exist, they've already been produced, there's no going back on that process, so the best thing we can do is use them. My favourite way to buy secondhand is definitely on Depop. I also list things on Depop if you're interested in like, if you like my style, I don't know, you can follow me on Depop. I'm gonna try and list some things soon, so it's just at naynaflorence, the same as everything else. But yeah, Depop is great, I think, because you don't have to go out in person to shop. It's really easy to like just search exactly what you want, and also if you, for example, you know you like the style of Topshop clothes, you can search Topshop in the bar and you're still like getting things to the style that you like, but secondhand, which is much better. Often people will even like buy things from like the current season and then wear them a couple times and sell them on there. You can still get things that are like in style, which obviously isn't the end goal, but all I'm trying to say is there's like a good variety of stuff on there. The only issue I think is that like there aren't really a good variety of sizes. I'd say most stuff is in like a similar size to me, which is obviously very lucky for me, but a lot of people won't be able, it's not very size inclusive. This is where like I understand exactly why people aren't able to like go fully fast fashion free, and I'm not saying that you should feel guilty for that at all, but I'm just trying to like give ideas of things you can do. Obviously on Depop you can filter the sizing, so maybe just have a look. I know that the sizing selection is smaller for people that aren't like the same size as me, but it's still worth having a look, I think. And then also charity shops. I have bought a few things in charity shops before. I find it more difficult to find things which are my style and my size. I think charity shops are more, normally the things are bigger than would fit me. So I guess why I don't really buy much from charity shops. There are good stuff, and I think charity shops are very much like, they're getting better. They're hooking onto the fact that like people are starting to use them more, and they're laying their clothes out better, and I feel like they are getting better in terms of like the experience you get when you go in there. If you're from like America or something, you go to a thrift store. We don't have that here, and all the charity shops are kind of bad, so feel lucky if you have something like that near where you live. And then of course there are some ethical clothing brands. I'm gonna mention a couple here. We do need to be careful of eco-washing, so like brands like what I was talking about before, so maybe check out Good On You if you find a brand and you're not really sure. Or even on Good On You, you can search like jeans, and they'll give you like some brands which are the best places for the environment to buy jeans if you want to find some more like ethical companies. So some of my favorites are the 100 Club. They only make 100 of everything, so they have like limited edition top bags. I think they have hats. Yeah, the designs are so cute as well. So I'm gonna link all of these below. And then another one is Lucy and Yak. They are so cute. They make like corduroy dungarees, dresses, jeans, like trousers kind of, and they're very, very cute. They're a Brighton based store. I've been to the shop and it's really cute. They have a lot of really cool like funky clothing in there, so they're really good as well. And if you follow them on Instagram, they'll talk a lot about like their sustainability and ethics, so that's, I think, something to look out for, like transparency of brands. They're hiding the more they have to hide, you know. And then I've also put Organic Basics, which is a great one for underwear, because this is something that you can't really, obviously you can't buy secondhand. So they have like bras, pants, socks, like maybe like vests and that sort of thing. It is a bit more expensive, but I think something to look out for is, I think another mindset to like get out of is, oh, this is so expensive. And I understand that not everybody can afford expensive things, but I think also thinking about clothes as an investment. So because it's more expensive, it probably will last longer. And also what you're paying for isn't just that item of clothing. You're paying for all the workers' wages. You're paying for their sustainability like concepts and stuff. So yes, it's more expensive, but think of it as you're getting more for the money. If that makes sense. Like you are buying more than just that item of clothing. And I 100% get that that's not feasible for everything and everyone. But I think get out of the mindset of us like, oh, that's too expensive, because maybe it's too expensive for you to buy, but it's a fair price for what they're offering. And then the last one I put is Tala, which is Grace Beverley's brand, and they have like workout stuff, leggings, tops, jumpers, t-shirts, which is really good if you're into the gym or just like athleisure wear. So I feel like I've just spoken so quickly for like 20 minutes, but I hope that you found this, I don't know, helpful. I will try, I'm thinking of doing in the next couple of weeks, maybe doing a secondhand haul of like some stuff that I've gotten recently. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video and hope that you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any other good ethical brands down below, or if you, I don't know, have like any other tips or ideas or facts. Like, let's just share information. Yeah, I know this can be like a touchy subject because this isn't something that everybody is in the position to do, but I honestly just want to like educate and help people understand the decisions that they're making, because I know a lot of people are making decisions that they don't need to. I post a video every Sunday, so subscribe if you want. I've also done a video which is 50 things you can do to help save the planet if you're interested in this sort of stuff. And yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.